Alright guys, so welcome back to our Wednesday night Modern stream here at Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. On the left we've got shop regular, but not stream regular, Sam Hanna, who's decided to dust off his Modern deck and play with us tonight. He's playing Red-Green Shamans, which is a Rage Forger deck, which sounds like a silly kid deck until you realize that Burning Tree Emissary is a Shaman, and Rancor and Lightning Bolt are good cards in whatever shell you put them in. His opponent is Joe Lewis, who's playing Blue-White Control. It's also a homebrew of his. It's basically a Restoration Angel Snapcaster Vendilion Clique deck. He uses various cantrips to fix, and then tries to win off the back of the aforementioned card, Celestial Colonnade, and I believe he plays a copy of Gideon Jura as well. So Sam, our Gitaxian Probe, revealing from Sam a land-heavy keep. He did keep 6 on the play, so obviously not nearly where he wants to be, but he does draw a Spike-Shot Elder off the top. Spike-Shot Elder in this deck actually very good, as both Rancor and the Rage Forger itself pump up the power on the Shaman and allow you to pump up the power on the Spike-Shot Elder and allow you to do a significant amount of damage directly to your opponent. It, of course, is a Shaman as well. There's a lot of cards that are Shamans that you probably didn't realize it until you saw them in Sam's deck. So there is a Rage Forger. Joe's going to read it. When it comes into play, put a +1/+1 counter on all your other Shamans. And then when they attack, they do 1 damage directly to your opponent. So the Spike Shot's a 2/2 now. It's going to get him for 3 total and drop Joe down to 15. And then Sam can untap and start pinging stuff for 2 with the Spike Shot. I'm not sure what the cavern's naming. I'm not sure it necessarily matters at this point, as it normally names Wizard, because both the Snapcaster Mage and Vendilion Clique are wizards, but it might name Angel as well. Sam's caverns always name Shaman. So let's see if Sam falls in the trap here of casting something before combat, because it smells like Joe's trying to load up a Vendilion Clique to take out the Elder or Rage Forger. If Sam's smart enough to leave his mana open ahead of time, he can shoot the Vendilion Clique before it blocks. And he's going to serve in here. Going to resolve triggers here. So and there is the click. So let's see if Sam responds to the click before combat. I'm going to go ahead and warn you. Like I said, Sam is one of the more casual players, so if he misses this interaction, be prepared. Joe's going to target himself with the click's trigger, and then Sam, I think I heard him say before blocks. So, well played. He's going to go ahead and kill the Vendilion Clique. So Joe basically just playing 3 mana that gains him 2 life and cycles the card. And there's a Flamekin Harbinger. It is an elemental Harbinger, so Sam's going to go ahead and go get him an elemental to put on top. He's going to get another copy of Rage Forger, so that'll be coming down next turn, which will allow for double triggers. And Joe very quickly, he's dead on board, it looks like, especially with the Spike Shot activation in the back pocket. So let's see if I can get a copy of Rage Forger up here on the screen for you. So there's a Gitaxian Probe played the hard way, revealing a Pyrewild Shaman, which I think is what Sam said he brought in when Bloodbraid got banned, because I don't think he's played since then. So I guess Joe is hoping for a Supreme Verdict here. Otherwise, why would you have paid that the hard way? So it looks like he did draw the Verdict, so he's going to drop down to 6 here. And Sam tapped out, so he can't... Well, no verdicts. I don't know what Joe's got. Obviously representing an Angel here. which is probably not going to be good enough here. So we know Sam had the Force in his hand, not sure what he drew. But again, by playing the Rage Forger, he turns off his Spike Shot activation, but it might be worth it here. So the Cavern of Souls turning off all of the counters in Joe's hands. So there's a Rage Forger. Oh, and Joe's going to respond with a Cryptic Command, tapping all creatures and countering the Rage Forger? What are we doing here? What other mode did you choose? Hold on. What two modes did you choose, Joe? Did you draw? Okay. So Joe choosing to tap Sam's team, obviously, and then draw a card. I was curious why he didn't counter the Rage Forger, but I guess Joe, realizing his only out was Supreme Verdict or some similar sweeper at that point, and was just trying to dig for it. Couldn't find it on his Cryptic draw, couldn't find it during his draw step, so Sam Hanna moves up a game here, and these guys head to their sideboards. So pretty cool. Let's see if I can bring up Rage Forger, like I said, guys, and then we'll give you a little bit more information on this often underseen card here. Just a second. Not sure why it came up all wonky like that. So there is Rage Forger. It's a 2/2 for 3. When it comes into play, put a +1/+1 counter on all the Shamans you control. And whenever a creature with a +1/+1 counter attacks, it pings target player directly. This card gets out of control very quickly. The fact that it puts the counters on the creatures already in play gives it pseudo haste, and God forbid your opponent ever has 2 of them in play at the same time. It gets out of control very, very quickly. Sam's deck again takes advantage of Burning Tree Emissary, which is a shaman, as well as Rage Forger, to get in a lot of damage very quickly, and then finishes things off with Spike Shot Elders, Rancor, and Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt killing your opponents. It's 1992. Guys, thanks for watching. 171 of you joining us now, watching a grown man sit in a broom closet talk about imaginary wizard fights. That's the way we do it. We appreciate you joining us here on Wednesday. Not necessarily a normal thing we've done. This is the second time in about 6 weeks that we've streamed Wednesday night Modern. It's just an availability thing, so we don't do this all the time, but if you want to make sure you don't miss one, make sure to click the follow button, which is over there somewhere. It'll send you an email anytime our stream goes live. We normally do this for our Friday night Magic streams, which start at 6:30 p.m. Eastern every week, on Friday, obviously, and that's normally a standard event, though we do booster drafts during the week of release. You can obviously follow us on the various forms of other social media. Facebook page that we update daily with news and content and information about the stream. If you've missed anything, or this is your first time watching, want to go back and watch some of our other content, everything we've ever broadcast, going all the way back to August of last year, is archived on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/ZachSellsMagic. You can follow me at ZachSellsMagic on Twitter. Obviously, we're here on Twitch, and then facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic for the stream page. It's horrible branding, I know, but I'm stuck with it. So that's what I deal with. Let's see what's going on in the chat. So Sam starts off with a turn 1 Spike Shot Elder on the mull to 6. Joe draws a Snapcaster Mage, which is going to be really good, given that he has timely reinforcements in his deck. He's going to cast a Squadron Hawk here at the end of his turn 1. There's actually a very good chance that Sam Hanna was not playing Magic when Squadron Hawk was in Standard. That is very much something that could have happened here, so don't begrudge him the read. Not all of us have been playing as long as me, I guess. Sometimes I look back on my nearly 20-year history of playing Magic the Gathering, both casually and competitively, and wonder, what did I do with all that time that I could have been doing something else? So turn 2, Sam plays a sideboarded Thorn of Amethyst, so all non-creature spells now cost 1 more to cast. So going to be basically a Stone Rain against Joe here, as most of his deck is non-creature, though the Squadron Hawk plan will do a pretty good job of keeping Sam at bay here, though we know with Rage Forgers and Burning Tree Emissaries, Sam can put a lot of power and toughness on the board very quickly. So is Joe stuck on 2 lands? Yes, so brutal here for Joe. Luckily he did have that turn 2 Squadron Hawk, as he is stuck on 2 lands and facing down a Thorn of Amethyst. So let's see what Sam's follow-up is here. Really want to see he's going to shoot one of the Squadron Hawks with his Spike Shot Elder and just pound in there. So I guess he doesn't have a draw that really punishes Joe's mana stumbles here. Not sure what's in his hand. He did mull to 6 here, so looks like Joe did not. Well, Joe did draw another land and plays it. Plays it untapped here, and we're going to see a Blade Splicer, and that's going to be a sufficient roadblock here. So I guess Sam looking for a 4th land, Rancor, and then Spike Shot activation, which will be good enough to kill that Golem. So there's an Elvish Visionary, which is also a Shaman. It'll draw him a card. He's going to cast another one. That'll draw him another card here. But effectively stonewalled on the ground by the 3rd land off the top from Joe into a Blade Splicer. Like we said, Joe's playing Restoration Angel, so that's why he's playing Blade Splicers, Snapcasters, Vendilion Cliques, and the like. Also pretty sure, if I know Joe Lewis, there's a copy of Sun Titan in this deck. Probably just the one, but he just can't let it go. So serving in with the Hawk and with one of the Golem tokens, Sam just taking the 4 down to 14 here, as he wants to preserve his creatures for later shenanigans. And there is a Sword of Fire and Ice, which is going to be very tough for Sam to beat at this point. I guess the best draw at this point would be a Rage Forger at a minimum. A Burning Tree to chain into it wouldn't be that bad. Sam drawing a lot of land this game. So there's a Wild Beastmaster. I forgot about that guy. And there's a Scorchwalker. No, that's the, oh my goodness. That guy, I forget what he is, but he's a 4/2. And when he comes into play, he gives target creature +2/+0 and haste. So he's going to do that to his Wild Beastmaster. And then he's going to serve in with the team here, I imagine. So with the Wild Beastmaster trigger, all of his creatures are going to get pumped now by 3. He's going to serve in with everybody. No point in holding anybody back, as that sword's going to start coming online and start picking things away. So we're going to throw a Blade Splicer in front of something here. So Wild Beastmaster, when it attacks, all creatures get +X/+X equal to its power. And with the you'll have to forgive me, the elemental that Sam cast at the bottom, giving it +2/+0 in haste. All of his creatures basically get overrun. They don't have trample, but they do still do a lot of damage here. So I think Joe only has the one untapped Blade Splicer to throw in front of something. He is completely tapped out. So he's going to block the Wild Beastmaster. It's going to die. Oh, I'm sorry, he evoked that creature, so that's why it doesn't stick around. And then he's going to add a Spike Shot Elder at end of turn. So Joe taking 12 all the way down to 5. And we know Sam's deck plays Rancors and Lightning Bolts. He's already got Spike Shot Elder on board. He's got 2 of them, in fact. So he can easily deal with this. We're going to serve in here for 3, but more importantly, draw a card and do 2 damage to something. So we're going to kill probably a Spike Shot Elder, and then draw a card off the top. So Sam untaps here. So a second land would effectively, or another land would effectively put Joe's life total at 3 with 2 Spike Shot activations. He can attack in here for 2 damage, assuming no shenanigans from Joe, though he's representing Snapcaster here, and I think he has Snapcaster in his hand. He also appears to have a path in his hand, so Sam going to regret to a certain extent not having played that land untapped, as he's only going to be able to do 1 damage here, and he would have otherwise been able to do 2. So he's going to ping Joe on the way out, dropping him down to 4, and then removing the Spike Shot, and Sam is going to go fetch likely a mountain at this point. And then Joe's going to untap with Timely Reinforcement. Joe trying to... It's interesting there. I think if Joe... Well, he can't do it all in the same turn because of the Thorn. Joe really wanting to cast that Timely and get the 3 dudes as well. But can't afford to with the mana situation because of the tax from the Thorn. So this way, Joe's going to be able to get in for 3 again. Shoot one of the emissaries, and then play Timely Reinforcements and go back up to 10 life, which is going to be backbreaking at this point. So it goes back up to 10. Sam down to just 1 card in hand, and a Lonely Elvish Visionary in play. So it looks ever increasingly like this game is going to, or this match is going to a decider. Sam draws yet another land. 8 lands drawn naturally in this deck. There's a Wild Beastmaster, which basically does nothing at this point. It's just going to meet a Sword of Fire and Ice trigger. My man Evilbeard showing up in the chat. So as expected, Beastmaster down off of the sword activation. There's another Squadron Hawk. Go fetch out the last one. And Sam's going to draw a card, but he is dead on board, very much so. I can't think of a card he could draw that would get him out of this situation. So Sam draws, plays another Beastmaster. Going to make Joe kill him the hard way here. As at 5 life, just the flyers will be enough. 5 exactly, and we move to game number 3. I know Sam is playing I don't know if they're in his sideboard, if he has 1 copy of it main, but he does have Viridian Shaman. I believe that's the name of the card, which is the Grey Ogre that shatters something on the way in. Every Shaman is crucial in this deck, and so I imagine he's going to bring in some number of those, as they will do. So Sam finds 7 cards he can keep on the play here and leads off with a mountain into a Spike Shot Elder. And then Joe doesn't have any 1-drops, so Celestial Colonnade is fine by him. So here's the turn. Do we see a Burning Tree Emissary? No, we do not. So Sam running a little bit below expectation. No copies of Emissary on turn 2 in any of the 3 games we've seen so far. So Joe plays an island. We're going to slam a Squadron Hawk here. Go fetch up 2 more and pass the turn back to Sam. So we'll see what Sam can do as far as loading the board up here. If he has a 3rd land, he can shoot one of the birds down like he did last game, or he can just add to his board with a variety of other creatures. Looks like he's on the shoot and ping plan, so trying to leave as few sword-carrying targets in Joe's deck as possible. But again, Sam's deck capable of turn 4 kills. In games 2 and 3, we've not seen very much as far as aggro is concerned out of Joe at all, or out of Sam at all. There's a Blade Splicer, which is going to clog up the ground significantly here, and Joe at a much higher life total than he was in game 2. So, in a pretty good spot here for the blue-white deck. So I'm being told by the chat that Sam had a Burning Tree, he just chose not to use it. I'm trying to envision a world in which this is correct. So Sam just passing back, is playing this one a little bit weird. And Joe's apparently nothing but business here. So we're going to see another Blade Splicer. So Joe commencing the beatdown. And he's going to shock himself, representing a Path to Exile as well. So Sam's draw seems to be kind of awkward. Joe's draw seems to be basically the nuts. End of turn, Sam's going to ping one with the Spike Shot Elder, but that's not going to get him very far in this game. It's not the Blade Splicer itself you care about. It's the 3/3 Golem that it brings to the party. So there's another... Yep, so there's the blowout. The Sam with a little bit more experience would have seen that coming, since we know Joe has that Path to Exile in his hand just because he played his Shockland untapped. But Path, in response to Rancor, is going to 2-for-1 Sam here, choosing not to ping something on the way out. So Sam really up against it at this point. So let's see if Sam adds anything to his board other than that. He's got a handful of... We got 4 cards in hand. Surely he has business. There's a Burning Tree. Chained into nothing. So not how Sam drew it up. His deck worked to perfection in game 1. And he got very close in game 2. But game 3 seems to be dominated by these Blade Splicers. Joe confident enough to cast a Gitaxian Probe for Phyrexian mana, revealing a hand from Sam that is just heartbreaking. 2 forests and a Cavern of Souls. He's already got 5 land on board. So Sam mulling to keeping 7. So either kept a land heavy draw and kept drawing land, or kept a land light draw and kept drawing land. Either way, somewhat unfortunate. Looks like variance is going to decide this one. Joe doesn't stop. Beats keep coming. Playing another Squadron Hawk, going and finding the last one. Then passing back, representing Vendilion Clique at the least, since he did not cast another Hawk there. Sam plays a Cavern, likely naming Shaman. So looks like Sam draws an Inner Flame Acolyte. It's going to give he's going to give itself +2/+0 in haste, so he can sneak some damage in here. But Joe obviously all answers at this point. Celestial Purge on the Acolyte's going to remove it from the game. We could double block the Emissary if we really wanted to at this point, but not really important. And Joe, in his old standard deck, seeming to get there. Serves in with the team here, drops Sam down to 3, and that's likely going to be enough. Can't imagine what Sam would draw at this point. That would be good enough. Draws a Copperline Gorge, attacks for 2, puts Joe down to 10, and if he has that weird card from Kamigawa block that does exactly 10 if they're at 10, Joe, not content to just win, has to show Sam that he has a sweeper, so Joe becomes that guy. But he does get game 3, and thus the match.